Is your 401k contribution match or profit sharing payout right around the corner? Because listen, leaving one paycheck behind is one thing, but leaving behind money you've already earned, whew, that one hurts. Hey, I'm Tine, your pivot and pay strategist. I help Black women double their income by leveraging their existing skills. I am all about getting Black women paid, whether you're an employee or a business owner. And you're listening to the Getting Black Women Paid podcast. Let's go. Hey, welcome back to the Getting Black Women Paid podcast. I'm Tine, your solo host this season, diving into all things career and entrepreneurship for Black women. So let me tell you about my cousin. She once told me that she never keeps more on her desk than will fit into her purse. At any given moment, she can call her husband like, "Did you quit your job today? No? Cool, then I'm out." And just like that, she can be gone. The confidence, the clarity, the freedom. Whew. You can feel the power she creates when she walks into a room. She knows they need her more than she needs them. And honestly, that's the kind of energy so many of us aspire to. But let's be real. Most of us aren't in a position to rage quit today. We've got bills, health insurance, maybe kids, maybe loans. And if you've been carrying the kind of stress that makes you want to slam the laptop shut and never look back, before you go, there's some things to think through. Today, we're talking about how to leave a job well. Whether you're heading toward a new opportunity, building your business, or walking away from a toxic situation, your exit deserves as much intention as your next move. So let's get into it. Here are 7 things to consider before you walk out that door. The first thing to consider when leaving a job is your physical and psychological safety. Let's start here because this is non-negotiable. If your work environment is harmful or stressful, prioritize your health, period. No paycheck is worth your peace. Sometimes the best exit strategy is the one that gets you out fast. Even if it's not neat, even if it's not graceful, your body doesn't care about protocol. It cares about protection and self-preservation. So here's your reflection question. What toll is this job really taking on me? Not the version you'd tell a coworker or put in a cover letter, the real answer. In your spirit, in your body, in your joy. Take a second. Pause the podcast if you need to. Jot it down, whisper it out loud, but answer it honestly. Because your well-being is your foundation, and everything else builds from there. The second thing to consider when leaving a job is your financial runway. All right, friend, let's talk numbers. If you're planning to leave your job, you need to know how long you can float. For real, not vibes, not I'll figure it out, a plan. How long can you cover bills without a paycheck? What can you cut back on if you need to? Do you have savings, a severance, a side hustle that can step up? This isn't about fear. It's about freedom. Having a runway gives you space to breathe, to job hunt intentionally, to build your business without desperation. Here's your reflection question. If I left my job today, how long could I financially sustain myself? And what's one thing I could do this week to extend that runway? Take a second. Again, you can pause if you need to. Jot it down or whisper it out loud. but answer it honestly because financial clarity is a form of self-care. The third thing to consider when leaving a job is the start date of your next opportunity. Now, listen, just because your next job starts on the 1st doesn't mean you have to leave your current one on the 31st. If it's financially feasible, giving yourself a short break can be a gift, a pause, a moment to reset, so you don't walk into your next job carrying all the stress, exhaustion, and resentment from the last one. You deserve to enter your next chapter with a clear mind and full energy. Even a few days can make a difference. Reflection time. Do I need a break between jobs? And if so, how can I plan for it? Take a moment to think it through. Say it out loud or jot it down, whatever helps make it real. You don't have to rush. You're allowed to rest first. The fourth thing to consider when leaving a job is how much notice you want to give. Now let's talk about giving notice. The standard is 2 weeks, but what's standard doesn't always feel fair. I've seen sisters talking about giving as much as a month's notice, and I always have to ask, is that how long they would give you if they were letting you go? Let's be honest. Most companies will cut you loose with 0 warning. So while it's absolutely okay to care about your team and want to leave things in good shape, don't bend over backwards for a system that would replace you without blinking. Instead, think about what you need. Do you want to give 2 weeks or less? Are there relationships you want to maintain? Are there projects you care about finishing well? You don't owe them a month, but you do owe yourself a peaceful, intentional exit. Here's your reflection question. What's the right amount of notice for me to give? And what relationships am I hoping to protect or preserve in the process? Take a beat to think about it. Protecting your peace doesn't mean burning bridges. Give the notice that lets you leave with your head held high and your boundaries intact. Okay, so far we've covered your safety, your finances, and your timing. These are the internal pieces, the ones that center you, your energy, and your clarity. But in the second half, we're shifting gears. Let's talk about the external logistics, your benefits, your health insurance, your vesting timelines, the stuff that makes sure you leave with everything you're owed and nothing left on the table. But first, let's take a quick break. Hey sis, have you been wondering how you can take your income to the next level? Did you know that I help Black women, just like you, leverage their skills to dramatically increase their earnings? Whether you're in the corporate world or starting your own business, I'm here to help you map out a strategy that expands your income and impact. So for a limited time, I'm inviting you to schedule a complimentary income elevation discovery call with me. Together, we'll talk through your goals and challenges. Visit www.gettingblackwomenpaid.com/schedule to book your call. This is your time to level up. Schedule your complimentary income elevation discovery call today, and let's create the blueprint for your next financial breakthrough. Visit www.gettingblackwomenpaid.com/schedule to grab your spot. Let's get you paid and positioned for more. All right, let's get back to the episode. Welcome back to the Getting Black Women Paid podcast. I'm Tine, and we're walking through the 7 critical things to consider when leaving a job. We've already covered the internal work, your safety, your finances, and your timing. Now we're talking logistics, the practical stuff, the money moves, the fine print that too many of us don't find out about until it's too late. Let's keep it going. The fifth thing to consider when leaving a job is maximizing your benefits payouts. Before you give notice, pause and check the calendar. Are you a few weeks away from a bonus? Is your 401k contribution match or profit sharing payout right around the corner? Because listen, leaving one paycheck behind is one thing, but leaving behind money you've already earned, whew, that one hurts. Some companies require you to still be on the payroll the day the bonuses drop, or that your last day can't fall within a certain blackout period. The fine print matters, so do your homework. You didn't work this hard to leave money on the table. Here's a question to consider. Is there any money I'm owed or coming up soon that I might miss out on if I leave too early? Check your HR portal. Ask the questions. Protect your coins. The sixth thing to consider when leaving a job is vesting timelines. Okay, sis, let's talk long money. If your job includes a 401k match, stock options, or RSUs, you need to know when those benefits vest. Because if you leave too soon, you could lose out on thousands of dollars you were this close to locking in. And we don't do almost over here, not when it comes to our money. So here's the move. Find out when those benefits vest. Monthly, quarterly, annually? Ask HR if you're not sure. Then do the math. If your next vesting date is in 2 weeks, cool, you can wait that out. But if it's in 2 months and 2 weeks, you might decide it's not worth the stress. Sometimes the peace is worth more than the payout. This is about strategy, not just staying for the money, but making sure you don't miss what you've already earned. So here's what you'll want to ask yourself. When do my benefits vest? And am I walking away too soon? Look up the vesting schedules and do the math. It might make sense to wait, or it might make sense to go. Just don't miss out on what's already yours. And the seventh thing to consider when leaving a job is your health insurance coverage. Now, this one right here, don't overlook it because timing is everything. Here's what most folks don't realize. In many companies, your health insurance coverage lasts through the end of the month of your last day of employment. So if you leave on May 29th, you're covered through May 31st. Cool. But if you stick it out just a few more days and leave on June 1st, you're covered through June 30th. That's 3 more days of work for a whole extra month of coverage. Especially if you've got meds, therapy appointments, or kids on your plan, that math is worth doing. Now here's the catch. It's not your last day in the office. It's your last day of employment that matters. So if you're giving 2 weeks notice, plan accordingly. Let's say you want your last day to be Friday, August 1st. You'd count back 2 weeks and give notice on Monday, July 14th, clearly stating in writing that your final day of employment will be August 1st. Even if they say you don't need to come in anymore, or they cut off your access early for security reasons, your official employment end date still holds as long as you document it. So here's your reflection question. When does my health insurance coverage end? And how can I time my exit to stretch it as far as possible? Your exit isn't just about leaving. It's about leaving well. Take what's yours, protect your peace, and cover your bases. All right, let's do a quick recap of what we covered today. The 7 key things to consider when you leave a job. 1, your physical and psychological safety. 2, your financial runway. 3, the start date of your next opportunity. 4, how much notice you want to give. 5, maximizing your benefit payouts. 6, your vesting timelines. And 7, your health insurance coverage. Because the way you leave matters, And not just for your reputation, but for your peace, your pockets, and your future. And if today's episode hit home, next week's is a must. We're talking about the 7 things to consider when starting a business. Whether you're side hustling or going full-time, we're breaking down the financial, mental, and strategic pieces you'll want in place before you make that leap. So hit that subscribe button and meet me right back here next week. And hey, if this episode gave you something to think about, share it. Text it to your group chat, drop it in a DM, forward it to that coworker who's been whispering, "I think I'm done," for months now. But maybe use their personal email address. Let's make sure none of us are out here walking away from jobs without walking into our next chapter with intention. Thanks for listening, and let's keep getting Black women paid. Hey, thanks for watching the Getting Black Women Paid podcast. If you enjoyed the conversation, make sure you like and subscribe. And remember to hit the notification bell so you can catch more episodes like this one. And join the conversation by leaving a comment below. Be sure to share this channel with the incredible Black women in your life so we can continue getting Black women paid. All right, we'll see you in the next one.